5-7 Sports Talk. Here are Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we welcome you back to 757 Sports Talk. We've got a special guest with us. He is the commissioner, one night only again for the VCW Virginia Championship Wrestling Liberty Lotteries coming up. It returns one night only, Portsmouth Pavilion, a week from tonight, July the 19th. George Pantas with us. George, thank you for stopping by. Ed has been looking forward to this since the moment you agreed to come on. And last year, he actually was able to drag me out there, and he was a kid in a candy store. He really was.
Thank you. So excited to be here myself. Fan of you guys' program, and now to be on and to talk about my passion and Ed's passion. And hopefully we can convince you to see what it's all about and come out next Saturday and see us put on an amazing show.
Well, you guys did a great job with it last year. I went out to one of the VCW events. But before we dig into what's on deck next weekend for the fanatics, the ones that are maybe new to the sport, I want you to give a little bit about your background and tell the folks about how you got involved with this, because you, like Ed, have to have a big passion for the sport.
Yes, indeed. So I'm actually Greek. I was born in Greece, came to America when I was 10 years old, didn't speak a word of English. I still don't. I speak American. Ha ha. And I discovered it on TV, on the local wavy station, and didn't understand a word they were saying, but I knew it was exciting. I've always loved comic books, and it was the comic books come to life, these heroes, and was hooked immediately. I was a teenager at that time, and when I asked my father if I could go, his request was one: do good in school, and you're welcome to go. And so I made sure I had those great grades, and I started attending. Back then, for this area, professional wrestling was very popular. Plus, when you think about it, except for the Virginia Squires that we had for a while, they were the only athletes, sports, and now we call them sports entertainers, that would come here on a regular basis. I want to add, every second Thursday, they were at the Norfolk Scope. They started back at the old arena, which would be now for the fans listening, the back of the opera. And then eventually they went to the Scope. And then once a month, they would come over to the Hampton Coliseum. So I started attending there. And then God is good every day. And twice on Sunday, as the Nature Boy says, woo! I was fortunate enough to meet the promoter. I hear someone laughing back there. It's got to be Ed. I was fortunate enough to meet the promoter for that area, Joe Murnick, and Joe happened to be very good friends with the sports editor of the Daily Press, who we attended church together. Of course, grown man, of course. Again, I'm a teenager, but because Tony Anthony, the sports editor, happened to be there at the show that I attended, and Mr. Murnick, who normally he would have his sons Carl and Elliot come. He happened to be there that night. The two of them were very good friends. Tony asked Mr. Murnick, said, George is a friend of mine. Please take good care of him. And guys, that's when all the magic happened. Now we're talking, Matt, we're talking kayfabe years. We're talking when it was super secret. And of course, Ed knows what I'm talking about. And I stop and think about it sometimes, that here I am, a teenager on top of that, at a time when this was a secret society, yet because of that friendship, because of the respect that both Tony Anthony and Joe Murnick had for each other, each one accepted each other's word, if you will, that I was a nice young man. And I have, in my life later on, I became a history teacher. I've always loved history, and I've always loved cameras. I'm very much a frustrated director. And so I started with a regular 8mm camera, eventually went to silent, eventually went to Super 8 silent, and then eventually Super 8 sound. Oh my God. And I was, and that's because film was very expensive back then. We were immigrants. My father worked very hard at the breast factory, and so money was tight. And so eventually I was able to get, like I said, to that Super 8 sound. And the recordings that I was able to get were literally sitting by the ring apron. And so I have the young Ric Flairs, the young Ricky Steamboats, Wahoo McDaniel, Blackjack Mulligan. We can go back to the era, Ivan Koloff, on and on and on and on. And again, God is good every day. The film happened to be preserved. And the biggest blessing was that I sold some of it, not all of it, to WWE about 11 years ago. And they have used it on a consistent basis. Any documentary that covers wrestlers, Roddy Piper, any of the wrestlers that came here to this area, they would actually find clips of what I filmed and then edit in telling the story. So documentaries, specials. I pinch myself every time I see it. And sometimes I'm aware of it because they're looking for something specific. Sometimes they put it on there, then I'm surprised myself. So that's a generic explanation. And then through the course of all that, I also became involved promoting and then got involved with Virginia Championship Wrestling. I hope that kind of answers the question.
Very cool. Very neat story, how you got involved with it. And Ed's got what? Tell us the hat you got on, Ed, because Lord of mercy, it's got to be.
George, George, I'm excited. I'm trying to be reserved. I know we got time restraints and whatever. We do have you on for 2 segments.
Oh, my gosh.
The TV going on right now, and then we will.
Hogan, is that a Hulk Hogan hat?
Yeah, I got Hulk Hogan, and George. Check this out, George. I got two championship belts. I'm not defending at the VCW event. They didn't need me, so I'm just going to keep my belts. And this knucklehead over here wants to try to take one of my belts. So I told him maybe George will set us up down the road for big money. And I can pin him probably in 1, 2, 3, George, real easy. But I'm not giving up these belts. I've earned these doggone things, and I'm going to keep them 9 years running.
Well, I'm going to come back as a one-time commissioner. Maybe I can do a triple threat match. All 3 of us in the ring.
Oh,
because those belts. No. I want a shot at those belts.
Because what? Now, I'm going to stay in kayfabe. It would probably be set up where George would win it because he's the biggest name of all 3 of us and the most important to wrestling itself. So I already know how that would work out. But boy, if I could give one smackaroo to this guy over here, it would be great.
I don't know. I just met Matt, and he's such an amazing guy.
Thank you.
But very excited. That's awesome.
I don't get his head too big. But George, in all seriousness, we got the Lethal Lottery coming up, Virginia Championship Wrestling. That's going to be next Saturday. And it's interesting. First time ever, Portsmouth Pavilion. Talk to us a little bit about the Lethal Lottery.
Yes, sir. So this is a huge event for us. Normally, our home base is over at the Masonic Temple in Norfolk, where we're based out of. But we also have traveled to Northern Virginia. We've done shows over at the Kroc Center, and then we also do school fundraisers for various high schools. One was Hampton High School, my alma mater, and so we are broadening ourselves. We are the premier Virginia wrestling organization, and so we decided to take this leap of faith and put this amazing show on next Saturday, July the 19th, at the Portsmouth Pavilion. We are super excited. The Liberty Lottery is and by the way, I do want to say that this is our version of WrestleMania. It's our biggest show of the year. We bring in big names that fans will see and notice, and we do that specifically for fans that are maybe new and may not be familiar with what Virginia Championship Wrestling is. But if they hear, "Oh my God, are you kidding me? The Rock and Roll Express is going to be there," which they are. "Oh my God, AW Ring of Honor star Jay Lethal is going to be there," which he is. "Oh my God, Paul London, WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Tag Team Champion, is going to be there." Yes, he is. And they're not only going to be there signing autographs and taking pictures, they're going to actually compete in a Legends match, the Rock and Roll Express versus Paul and Jay. And then so then the fans that are fans of theirs come to see them they see our product, the prayer and the hope is they fall in love with it. And then that's how we generate continual interest in fans. And we've been very blessed with that formula. And so the little Liberty Lottery is sort of like the WWE Royal Rumble in that wrestlers come in one at a time. But the difference from WWE is legitimately the fans pick the order of the entrance. We have a hat or container, and then we go to different fans. They'll pick out a name. So all the wrestlers have to be ready in the back to come out right away because they do not have any idea when they're going to come out. The only one that has an advantage is one of our amazing wrestlers, the Greek god Papadon. He was in a match last month, and the prize was whoever won would come in as number 20 because we have 20 wrestlers in the lottery. And so that's obviously a huge advantage for him because all the others will be in there beating the you-know-what out of each other, and he can come in rested, and he can be a sneaky guy. And, of course, his desire is to win because if he wins, then he gets to pick and go after any belt of his choice, whether it's the heavyweight belt, the Liberty title, tag team title. And so it's a big incentive for all the wrestlers in there to come out on top. And the only way you come out on top, you don't go over the top rope. If you go over the top rope and your feet touch the ground, then you are eliminated. And then, of course, we have some other matches that we can talk about.
Fantastic. So obviously, it's a lot of it's going to be a lot of action. It's everybody in there. It mimics what they do in WrestleMania, as you said. Virginia Championship Wrestling. For those out there not sure, it's not as grandiose as WWE and all that, and AEW, but it has its following. Those guys and ladies are performing hard, and you do at times sometimes see those people move on up, so to speak. They're taken by WWE or some of the big boys in terms of, hey, we like what you do. We're going to develop you further and whatever. So it can happen. But the action, and I'll say this, I've been to both events, VCW, WWE. The VCW people put out wrestlers in that, I think, a little bit more where the WWE show, the VCW guys really go at it like, hey, they're putting it on the line, trying to be, entertainment in terms of people's money. I know pro wrestling gets this little he from people and whatever. It's fake. It's whatever. But if you understand that and still enjoy it, you get your money's worth.
Very much so. First of all, thank you for the huge compliment. For the fans listening that are new to independent wrestling, we would compare ourselves to the local hockey team, to the local baseball team. Okay, the wrestlers have to learn their craft somewhere, and they learn it at independent shows all over the United States. And yes, indeed, we have had some amazing success. A lot of our talent has done what is known in the business as as enhancement talent. Well, they go on and they'll be security or they'll be involved in one of the storylines. We've had many of our wrestlers do that, not only with WWE, but also with AEW when they come here locally, or sometimes they'll travel around the area. Because one of the things that I pride myself in doing, especially when I was active as the commissioner, I would travel throughout the area to find the best young, hungry talent and then bring them down to VCW. So it's always happening and exciting. And the big name there's two names I like to brag real quick since you went there, Ed. One is Luke Gallows. Luke Gallows was our heavyweight champion when WWE signed him, and he went up there. And, of course, went on to wrestle in New Japan with CM Punk, the whole Straight Edge Society. Just an amazing wrestling human being. And then when he was released the first time, he actually came back to VCW, and we did an angle, as it's called in the business, of where I never lost my title. I want my title back. He jumped then at that time VCW heavyweight champion Phil Brown, who, by the way, will be in the lottery this year, locally from Hampton High School, and took the belt and ran away with it, if you will. But eventually I brought him back, and it was one of those lotteries that we had in the past, because this is our 18th annual lottery. that it was the match happened, and Phil Brown eventually was able to get his belt back. And so, and then the biggest name that I love bragging about is Brand. Now, for us, when he worked under his real name of Blake Chadwick. He was our announcer, our commentator, interviewer in the back. He's now, I'm proud to say, he's going on his second year. He goes under the name Blake Howard, as we most of us know. When they're signed by WWE, they change their names for various reasons. And so Blake has been announcing, commentating for NXT Level Up, NXT Main Event, and Main Event is taped after, or rather before, Monday Night Raw, and then they air it on CW and various other channels. And he's had co-hosts from the Road Dogg, for JBL, the Booker T, it goes on and on. So to see Blake Howard become this major WWE superstar, I'm going to say, is just, I have goosebumps right now just mentioning it. So this is why, fans listening, it's important to support independent wrestling anyway. We'd love for you, if you live in this area, to come and support us. It's because you will see young talent, and then, and I make sure that they come out, sign autographs, take pictures, and then down the line, you'll see them as stars on the major promotions. So support independent wrestling wherever you are. Support us by going to Ticketmaster and type in VCW Lottery, and the tickets will come up. We only have general admission left because we've been sold for the longest time, ringside, front row. And so it's a big venue, so you will find seats. And, of course, you can also purchase them at the door. And we have some other ladies' matches. We have heavyweight titles. It's three-way matches. It's tag team for the for the VCW title. Very, very, as you can tell, I'm very, very excited. And the fact that I come back as a one-time only VCW commissioner. That was my job for about 10, 12 years. I retired back in 2023, dealing with health issues. I couldn't perform to the level that I held myself up to. And so now I was able to make this happen. Honestly, I just want to sit back and enjoy the show. But if there's some shenanigans going on, then my sleeves are rolled up, the tie is loose, and I'm ready to lay down the law.
Well, if Ed's there and he heckled people last year at the VCW event, I'm sure there will be some type of shenanigans. It should be a fun time. Stick around. We've got more with the VCW Commissioner George Pantas here. Liberty Lottery, one night only. He's the commish, back in form. Portsmouth Pavilion, Saturday, July 19th. I know Ed's got some more questions, including some from our viewers as well. Keep it tuned. It's CoVA Sports TV, and we'll be back in just a moment after this quick timeout.
All right, it's summertime. That means school's out. And it got me to wondering, where do math teachers go on vacation? Times Square.
This is 757 Saturday Sports Talk with Matt Hatfield and Coach Ed Young.
And we're back here with the Virginia Championship Wrestling Commissioner. One night only at the Portsmouth Pavilion on July the 19th. That is George Pantas, our guest here on 757 Sports Talk on CoVA Sports TV. One of our viewers out there, George, Derek Fulgham, says he's ready to come out of retirement and get in the ring. And I got to show you this picture because he's a big wrestling fan just like Ed is. And this is Derek, it looks like, from years ago. Derek out there officiating for one of the matches. So Derek is looking forward to this event just like Ed is as well, coming up next week. So
yes, I remember Derek. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Have it as he is looking forward to that. Yeah. So, but we continue on with you here, George. And again, you mentioned it before we went to break about the tickets, Saturday, July 19th, Ticketmaster, the way to go. Ringside seats not available, but they can still get tickets. What are we looking at as far as just the whole rundown, if you can, as far as the event time and what they should look forward to?
Yes. Thank you for going there. So the doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7:30. The wrestlers will be out signing autographs, taking pictures. Fans can pre-order going to our VCWProWrestling.com, and they can pre-order autographs and photos taken with the Rock and Roll Express and also with Jay Lethal. Paul London will be doing the same on site, and so that would be the big one to fight, not have to fight the lines, if you will, and have it ready by going on there and pre-ordering. Now, as far as the matches themselves, we have. I'm going to have to put my glasses on here so I can read it a lot easier. When we have a total of 7 matches, and our local Funny Bone comedian, who's actually quite famous in his own world of comedy, he's going to be hosting it. His name is Tim Louis. He's also part of VCW and has the Louis Lounge, so he's going to host the whole show. And then we talked about the Liberty Lottery already. And we also have the VCW Heavyweight Championship on the line. The current champion, Devantes, this is like a triple threat match for the wrestling fans, is going to go against Bohr, former VCW Heavyweight Champion, and Rex Lawless. Rex Lawless is a huge monster, as Booker T says, and he has not been a VCW Heavyweight Champion yet, but is hungry to get that title. And he's been destroying all of the opponents that we've put up against him. All 3 have interfered in each other's matches. So that's why it was decided, let's put them all in there together and let them go out there and entertain the fans with some amazing, hard-hitting, big guys action. We also have a tag team match. We have, for the VCW tag team titles, we have the current champions, the Delinquents, going against Nice and Smooth. We have a VCW Liberty Championship match. Commander King, the champion, is going against Parker Lee. And speaking of the Liberty Championship belt, at one time, Paul London, which we talked about earlier, Paul London was our VCW Liberty champion. Paul has a long history working for VCW. So I look forward to seeing Paul and catching up with him again. We also have, now this one I can't wait. Actually, I'm going to leave that for last. Let me talk about, we have a special 3-way women's match. Haina Hira, Joya Blake, and Nair Robles, who's debuting for us in VCW. And this is sponsored by Title Match Network. They will be wrestling, and fans always ask us for female action, and we don't want to just put anybody up there. So we work hard to find amazing talent that we can bring in. And these young ladies, although full disclosure, I'm not familiar with them because, again, I've been out for about a year and a half. I've been told that they are amazing. Now, the match, I'm looking forward to all the matches, but the one that I can't wait is a Portsmouth street fight anywhere in the city of Portsmouth. It is Brandon Scott, who has been actually at one time the longest VCW heavyweight champion. He's wrestling against the Reason, who the Reason is like the henchman, if you will, of the director for VCW, Jerry Stefaniches. Jerry has been a thorn in my side for 10, 12 years, probably longer. I wound up losing my job as the commissioner because of him. Had to get in the ring and wrestle. You see these big muscles over here, right? Yeah. Hey, get up. Get in the ring and wrestle with knife. We did it as a 6-man tag because, needless to say, neither one of us are wrestlers. But we had our tag team champions at that time and former, so we did a 6-man tag. And at the end, eventually, I got my job back. But the point of that story is he's been a thorn in my side, and the director wants the Reason to destroy, to beat up, and leave as terrible as possible Brandon Scott, because he feels that Brandon Scott has disrespected him. And so I'm gonna grab that chair and sit right there at ringside, because I want Brandon to just beat him from one side of the ring to the other, take it outside in the streets. I'll send the cameras to follow them. I really want Jerry to get his upcomings, because in the past he's gotten over me a couple of times, and I want to see this match up close and personal.
I like that sometimes.
So that's the entire card. Plus, we always have surprises.
Well, nice. First of all, I forgot to say this at the top. George has been gracious enough to donate 2 tickets, a 2-pack, to a listener.
Okay.
For the show.
All right.
For the show. And he even dug into his pocket, something this guy would never do, to get us, Matt and I, tickets to come in. Of course, ringside sold out, which we understood. But we're coming in, and I told George, if you need any help, I don't know how much this guy would help, but I'm there to help you. We got to go after this dastardly do-hard Jerry dude. We'll take care of him for you, whatever needs to be done. And eventually, I would hope that Matt and I will get a chance. Maybe you can work your magic down the road. We can do maybe like a live commentary, a podcast at one of these shows. Talk to a wrestler after they win, something going on, something a little bit different that we can, if you can work your magic for that somewhere down the road.
We can definitely make that happen. Yes, indeed. Yes, that would be
great.
awesome, by the way. Thank you for making that offer.
And then at some point in time, once I get a little training, I want to referee a women's match. So I can tell them, break the hold. Hold on, you can't do that. Hold on, let me pat you down, make sure you got no foreign objects. I would love to do that.
And you said the key word, in all seriousness, training.
Yes.
Everything that we do out there, you have to go to a professional wrestling school and learn your craft. Just like you can't walk out on the football field or on a basketball court and expect to be put into the game, the same thing is true with professional wrestling. And sadly, people have that impression. And no, you have to be trained professionally to make sure you don't hurt yourself, to make sure as much as you try to put punishment on your competitor, you don't want to really destroy the guy. We all have to make a living at this. So training is important. When I got into the ring to wrestle, and I wrestled twice, I had to go to wrestling school. I had to learn some of the holds. I had to learn how to take bumps. And I'll never forget the first time I was picked up and thrown down. They were saying to me, George, tuck your head when we throw you down. Okay, they threw me down. I did not tuck my head in. It hit the canvas, and people think there's springs and crazy stuff. No, it's plywood. It's a thin layer of foam, very thin, and then the canvas. And so I hit my head right on that board, and I was seeing stars. I had to time out, guys, time out. So yes, we learn our craft before we can perform it. And that's the other thing why we work hard to find talent that is seasoned and almost ready to go to that next level. And we give them the opportunity to wrestle and entertain our fans.
Well, George, and I know Matt wants to jump in here too, but I just want to play off of that once real quick. I'm going to get the elephant out of the room. Yes, we know wrestling is scripted. I will not say fake, because my first inkling in realism in wrestling, our wrestling coach at Lock Haven University, and he was one of my professors, Ken Cox, had a lot of former guys from his other schools that he got become pro wrestlers. So they happened to be in the Lock Haven area one time, and we all got on our wrestling class, we got tickets to go. Now we had to write a story and all this and whatever. But I got a chance to go into the ring before, everybody was coming around, and I just wanted to kind of see what it was like. So I said, I always saw people running the ropes. I mean, come on, you run the ropes, you bounce off, feels good. So I gave a run, hit the rope, almost knocked myself out. The rope almost knocked me out. It's not just hit the rope. I hit that sucker, came flying back. I don't know where I ended up, but I flipped outside of the ring on the other end, and people around there were laughing. And I kind of got up like you. I was like, oh my, what the heck? Did somebody hit me? And I'm thinking, I'm just running the ropes. I've seen it. I've seen the guys do it. It's nothing. Well, let me tell you this. You can get hurt in wrestling just messing around. So it is it is kind of scripted. It is entertainment, because if they really went at it, somebody would get killed. Emotion would start playing a role. So if you understand what it's about, and then you understand athleticism, if you understand storytelling, because to me, it's my story. People watch shows, realities for stories. That's what I do with wrestling. That's why when Matt saw me at the wrestling match, I was screaming my head off, acting like crazy. He even said, he goes, man, if your players and people who know you can see what you're like at a wrestling show, you're two different people. I'm getting into it. Okay, I was kayfabe. That's one of the words we use. I'm yelling at guys. I worked the guy for wearing. I said, man, you can't wear your wife's underwear as your wrestling tights. What are you doing? And he turned around and looked at me and said, I'm going to joke on you. These are your wives. I said, that's how dumb. So, and everybody started laughing around us. I understand what's going on, but I'm just playing it, being respectful, but throwing it in there. But I just want to get that point across to the people listening or thinking, wrestling, come on. It is a sport because of what those people do in the ring. I wouldn't do it. I couldn't even run a doggone rope, let alone put a move on or jump off the top rope or whatever. So in that sense, it is real. And as we've always been told, and our professor told us, don't ever go to one of the wrestlers and say, hey, this stuff is fake, isn't it? Because they're going to show you a real move. And he was very serious about that. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I know Matt wanted to throw a couple things in.
Well, George, I was going to say I was waiting for one of Hacksaw Jim Duggan's cousins to hit Ed with a 2x4 as much as he was heckling some of those wrestlers. So
yeah. Oh, and we actually had Hacksaw at one of our shows.
Did you? Okay.
Ric Flair, Roddy Piper. I was fortunate enough to actually be in a Roddy Piper's pit. He saved me. Those are stories for another time. Maybe I can come back and share some of my amazing stories.
Well, I do want you, George, because I know our time is limited.
And we got a question from a viewer, don't we? Yet I think we said.
And by the way, I'm sorry, Matt. Viewers, in terms of winning those 2 tickets, it's a 2-pack. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're not going to separate them. It's a 2-pack. You have to chime in, and then we'll figure a way out who's going to get them, or maybe George will just give us a name at the end, and
we might do a trivia or something. Yeah, we can figure something out. Yep.
Right, we'll get those tickets out, and then what will happen is we'll get your information to George. George will put it at will call, like where our tickets will be, and then that person can go there and get those 2 tickets. So I just want to make sure people know that. But I did want to, before Matt throws in George, a local guy who made it big until a very unfortunate accident. Magnum TA, Terry Ellen, tell us.
Yes, Magnum TA, right here from Chesapeake, Virginia. Very, very dear friend of mine. I was very close with his parents, and he was destined to become the heavyweight, the NWA heavyweight title, but tragically, coming home from one of the shows, crazy rain. And his car wrapped around a tree. He was told that he would never, ever, ever walk again, let alone wrestle again. He was a quadriplegic. I can't say the word right. Basically, from the neck down. But Terry never gave up. There's some great documentaries out there about Terry's life that I highly recommend. Dark Side of the Ring did one just recently. And actually, when we brought Terry to VCW, they had their cameras there, and yours truly is in it, and showing how the fans still love Terry. So I highly recommend seeing that episode. And then High Spots, which is a very famous wrestling company, they did a documentary on him as well. So, but I want to share this, and this is the first time I'm sharing this story on any platform. So this is a scoop for you guys. When Terry worked very, very, very hard to bring himself back so he can walk. He has a special equipment machine that he sits on to maneuver everyday things. And I think it's the left arm is the one that's pretty much useless. But except for that, he became, when he came back, he became a contributor as a commentator in wrestling. He owns his own businesses, cell towers. Speaking of coming back, I was actually there at the Baltimore Cup, at the Jim Crockett Cup in Baltimore, when I talk about tears, when he came out for the first time after he was able to get himself back to walking. Nikita is hugging him, Dustin is hugging him. There was not a dry eye in the house. But the scoop that I want to give you is when he finally pushed himself and took the first steps, he called his mother. Now this is his mother, Marion. And both parents obviously have passed away. God rest both of their souls. So when I was talking with Marion, she says, George, you're not going to believe what Terry told him and what I said back. He called me the other day. I said, oh, what happened? What happened? She said, well, he made his first steps. And when he made his first steps at the rehab place, he called me and said, Mom, you're not going to believe this. I made my very first steps while walking. And I said to him, well, you better have called. Oh, and I want you to be the first to hear it. And she said, well, you better have called me. I was the first to see you walk when you were a baby. So thank you for telling me now that you're walking as well. So an amazing story of perseverance, of never giving up on yourself, and someone that was definitely destined for greatness. And to see him perform in the ring, oh my God, just they called him Magnum TA out of back when Magnum PI was very popular. And here's a little trivia. You were talking about trivia earlier, Matt. Yeah. The person who gave him that nickname, because at that time Terry looked like Tom Selleck, the curly hair, the thick mustache. It was the boss himself, Andre the Giant. Oh, and wow. He looked at Terry and he said, hey, boss, the people that he liked, he called boss. Hey, boss, you look like that guy on TV, Magnum PI. You should call yourself Magnum TA. And the rest, as they say, is history.
Wow. How about that? That's a neat little story.
Thank you. And thank you for asking that question, Ed, about local talent that moved on, because we also have a special guest at the Liberty Lottery on July the 19th, and that is Mark Fleming. Now, Mark Fleming worked for Jim Crockett Promotions for many years. He's the protege, I don't know if I'm saying the word right. He learned under Lou Thez, 5-6-time NWA heavyweight champion Lou Thez, trained him. He went over, and the Andersons. He's wrestled in Japan. He wrestled for us in VCW back in the day. A couple of years ago, he managed Brandon Scott, the one that's going up against the Reason. And so Mark, although never made it to the top tier level, definitely wrestled all the greats, and he will be there signing autographs, taking pictures, answering fans' questions. So fans who will come there, make sure you swing by and talk to Mark. He's always excited about talking about that. And he also wrote a book about his autobiography and in the business and all the famous wrestlers that he's worked with. And I'm not sure if he's going to have the books there, but I'm sure you can talk to him about ordering them from him.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Well, George, we thank you so much for coming on the program today. I'm sure this will not be the last, even though it is the first time you've come on with us. And we thank you for allowing us to give some fans up there an opportunity to check out the wrestling with the tickets. Again, VCW, big event coming to the Portsmouth Pavilion Saturday, July the 19th. Ticketmaster, get your tickets. You should be there, and you will see Ed Young maybe running around the ring before it all starts, high-fiving folks, heckling folks. He might have a foam finger pointing at people. You don't know what you'll see when he shows up. So should be lots of fun.
Hey, George, if you get a chance, I know you're going to be busy. You're the commissioner, and I know you got some stuff up your sleeve. You won't really divulge it or what you're going to do, but maybe you can get – I'm going to drag this knucklehead there, maybe get us backstage just to meet a couple wrestlers, get a couple pictures if you could do it, because you're the commissioner. Because I'm going to tell everybody my new best friend is the commissioner, and lay off of me before I put the smackdown on you.
That's right. And yes, definitely. As you guys, now Ed, of course, knows the wrestlers, but Matt, as you're watching the show, if you see like, man, that guy's really great, I'd love to get a picture of, or even get him on your show. Yes, I can make that happen. Yes, I can make that happen. Yes.
Well, you can check it out. Again, the website again is VCWProWrestling.com. Is that correct?
That's correct. And there you can get more information, and especially pre-ordering the autographs and photo ops. And then, of course, Ticketmaster, type in VCW Lottery, and it'll pop up immediately. And we look forward. And please stop me when you come there, fans. I love talking to all the fans. please stop me so we can say hello, take pictures, and everything else. I'm so excited about being back.
Absolutely. Tell them you saw George on our show, and follow them on the Instagram, the Facebook, the Twitter, the X, and the YouTube as well. Thank you, George. We look forward to seeing you next weekend, and we'll talk again down the road.
Thank you. Let's do one more thing real quick, and that is you said, Ed, you said about a pair of tickets. Let's make that 2 pair of tickets. So maybe pick two different winners, each one of them getting 2 pairs of each tickets so they can go there with a friend.
All right. So follow us on CoVA Sports TV and Facebook. We'll have the info for the contest with trivia or how they can get them. Maybe Ed will pick a pair and I'll pick a pair. How about that?
Yeah, do that. We'll give them a little trivia, and George, we'll let you know. And even though we got to move on in there, you're welcome to stay linked in and listen to the rest of the show, whatever. But we're going to see you next Saturday, and we're going to see you on here again in the future as we talk about what happened at the Liberty Lottery and what's coming up in the future. So you're part of our show now forever.
Amen. Thank you so much. Big honor for me. Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, George. That is the one and only George Pantas, the commissioner for VCW. We thank him for tuning in. Coming up next, we've got